You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is June 13th, 2024 meeting of the Michigan City Sustainability Commission. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
All right, everybody. Hello. I'd like to call the Michigan City Sustainability Commission meeting to order at 4:32 on Thursday, June 13th, 2024. Our secretary is not here today, so I will call roll. Oh, yeah, that's right here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And then, I'm sorry, Tim, could you pass me the sign-in sheet so I can just call right off of that? Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. Tim Bauer.
Here.
Michelle Bostock. Absent. Tristan Bogert.
Here.
Laura Henderson, excused. Andy Jans Davis, present. Beverly McMartin.
Present.
Faye Moore.
Present.
Lawrence Zimmer.
Present.
Bailey Chavez, excused. Angela Reynolds, excused. Nancy Moldenauer.
Present.
And we have a quorum. Wonderful. All right, did I do everything for secretary? Excellent. Now we just need to approve the minutes for, oh, my agenda says April, but it means May. And May minutes for 2024. Do I have a motion? Excellent.
Approved minutes for May. I second that.
All right, all in favor to approve May's minutes?
Aye.
All right, that was unanimous. Excellent. Now we have an exciting day today. We have the design presentation by Homeward Bound Villages, Sandy Keller. The presentation is on sustainable, energy efficient design of the proposed attainable cooperative living model on Harwick Road. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I'm going to present, so are you guys going to be comfortable just turning around?
Oh,
We're going to move probably.
yeah. Do you want to? Yeah, we can
Split
see
it up. Gosh, it's so nice when everything works.
What you do with that pen?
There's this pen.
You gave it to
That's yours. And here's an extra.
Well, thank you for the introduction and thank you for the invitation here. My name is Sandy Keller and I'm president of Homeward Bound Villages. Also joining me today, we have the honor of our founder and co-founder, Lee Coburn and John Vanderwagen. If you know anything about Homeward Bound over the years, Lee Coburn is the face that people always tell me. Lee's been knocking on doors forever and ever and ever. So I'm really excited and honored to be here today. We've been working a bit with Councilwoman Moldenauer on our project and trying to advance some funding through the city. And she picked up very quickly on the few things that we say about sustainability. And while this is a critically important component of the work that we do, we have not really had an audience that cares much about that. And so we focus on other things that our audiences have cared about. So this has been really fun to put this together and to be able to talk about it in these terms. I've got just a handful of slides, so you see some pretty pictures, and then I've got a handout that really goes through and details just a little bit more about the components of the project and the way we'll operate the village that we put in the eco-friendly sustainability. What I would really love this group, you probably have so much more wealth of knowledge in sustainability that we could ever imagine happening. So, you know, I hope that that really turns into the opportunity for us to develop more partnerships, for you to help us be aware of opportunities and things that we wouldn't even know to have thought about because we just don't have that kind of knowledge and background. So I'm probably going to cover about 10 minutes of content and then leave it open for any questions that you have. All right? So a little bit about us. We were founded in 2017 to directly address the need for affordable housing in LaPorte County. I won't spend a lot of time talking about that need. I think most people understand that there's a housing shortage. There is a housing purchase and rental for people at extremely low incomes, and there are almost zero solutions that are anything other than government subsidized. And so our goal is really to work with community leaders and stakeholders and bring this cooperative model that also has that component of being ecologically responsible. Our mission is to create community through affordable housing. And our strategy for doing that is in a cooperative community setting. We really focus on the pride of ownership for the individuals that will live in the village. And you'll learn a little bit more about a factor of that sustainability that keeps it low cost and more sustainable low cost, low term is, or long term, is because the residents do a lot day to day to care for their village. The location is, the red mark there is on Carwick Road. It is just across from Potawatomi Country Club. The Housing Authority housing development is just adjacent to our property. We're just a mile south of the intersection there where Al's Grocery Store is, Carwick Plaza, I think it's called. So that helps orient you to the location. What's great about this location is that we are just a mile from grocery, from the things that are accessible in that location. There's a park, there's a school. We're right on a bus route. So it really gives people the ability to not worry about having a car, or especially people if they choose not to have a car, then they've got great accessibility to be mobile around town and get close to important amenities. The picture at the bottom is last fall we did a bunch of site clearing to really clean up some messy, scrappy stuff that was on there. So that's what it looked like last fall. I suspect the grass has grown a bit this spring, but pretty close. It's a very clear site. Super quick on this timeline, just to orient you on some of the work that we've done. So as I said, founded in 2017. These guys got to work before 2017, but officially as a nonprofit was in 2017. 2021, 2022, 2023 is our work to establish our model, purchase property, do all of our development planning. If you've ever done a development project, you just, you know how long those things take. So we have been in just huge PR and fundraising mode for the last year. Because we are through all of the development planning, we are ready for construction. Towards the end of that, we actually, let me mention more specifically, we are in the process of getting site development bids right now. We'll have those in hand in the next few weeks and hopefully scheduling that work. So the optimism around welcoming first residents by the end of the year all has to do with construction and availability of construction and scheduling, but we really are confident about moving forward with our development very soon. Our village model. I'm going to talk about this holistically, and of course today we'll be talking more about the sustainability component. Our village model, the three most important aspects of this: forever affordable. Homeward Bound acts as a land trust, which means it can never, our units and our property will never hit market rate. Right? We control the property through acting as a land trust, and I'll talk a little bit more about how we'll lease to the co-op, but still provide that connection and support. The cooperative governance or cooperative community is the community will establish a board, they will operate day to day, Homeward Bound retains ownership and is responsible for the long-term maintenance of the community. The sustainable dwellings, the energy efficiency and some of the other aspects of sustainability that are built into the design and the site is really what helps keep it low cost long-term. And this cohesive community, one of the things we understand as human beings is that we need other people and we need support systems. And often people that are really struggling with housing, perhaps experiencing homelessness, they may have lost support systems, they may have lost family, they may not have those real human connections. And so that cohesive community and supporting each other and working together is really what we know from other organizations doing very similar work around the country makes a difference in people's lives. This is a picture of the architecture. We settled for zoning. I'll talk a little bit about the zoning on the handout. We would love to be building smaller. We're building 500 square foot units. We settled for the zoning that was available. Some of you may be familiar with some of the challenges that zoning brings to more sustainability, to building more sustainably. I will talk about that again and again, because I think that is an area where the more a city is hearing from different voices about why all of that really matters, and it's not just an affordability, but it's a sustainability factor, can just really open up some insights for others. So we are building 3 units together, and I'll get to the site picture later, where you'll see that we have a total of 12 units on the site. And I will also talk on the handout a little bit more about the energy rating and what we're doing working with Energy Diagnostics in Valparaiso. This is a concept design of the site. We do have a full construction development plan, but that's kind of boring to look at, just a bunch of lines and everything. And so you can see here from the picture that the purple unlabeled are the residential buildings. There will be a community center. There's lots of common space and open space. What you don't see in this picture is that almost of equal size is a wooded back end of the property. So again, residents make up the board that operates their community day to day. They do not own their homes in our model. This is a rental model. And that it really is designed to allow for the evolution of the community and meeting needs, not just the residents in the village, but the broader community as well. And again, Homeward Bound is responsible for the long-term maintenance. We also provide some staffing support to support folks. We're not going to assume that people have any idea how to sit on a board, how to manage finances, how to even collect and pay utilities for the entire village. So we do provide that part-time staff support to really help them succeed. So just to recap, what keeps our villages affordable, the land trust acting as a land trust, the sustainability features are not just good for the environment, but it really helps keep the costs low. And 100% of our construction is funded. So if we're not worrying about debt service, then we can keep rents lower, which is why we just been going crazy after grant dollars and funding that helps keep us away from financing to bring this project about. All right, so let me give you a handout that has a little bit more about the specifics. On the back side of this sheet is a pretty picture that lets you see the village overlaid on a aerial view of the property. Have extra if you'd like to see it. All right, so let me just go ahead and talk through this. I did put the village model picture there more just as a graphic, not so much to read that. So the site design and the features on the site changed the zoning from R1C single family to R3A multi-family low rise. We are building on a small lot. As noted here, it is only 1.3 acres. So we're building on greater density and really making use of that, what used to be a single family zoning property. We're using pavers in key parking areas to reduce the water runoff, and our engineering firm has created drainage swales to capture the runoff and really limiting the disturbance of the surrounding areas, especially the wetlands that are on the back of the property. The construction design, smaller units. The minimum for the zoning is 500 square feet. It is also our maximum. We would really love to be building smaller, and lots of models that we look at are building much smaller. The residential units are all electric. Passive solar is designed into the architecture. We are preserving the natural environment around us. The design is certified to meet Indiana Energy Code and exceed the Indiana 2020 performance requirements by almost 9%. Currently, we're considering the zero energy ready design and or targeting solar energy. Are you familiar with zero energy ready? Should I describe that? Zero energy ready, as I understand it, is that you make the house or building ready for solar, but you're not necessarily installing solar. So Department of Energy, it's a higher standard to comply with compared to the state energy code. One of the big considerations for us is that there's a lot of trees. There's a lot of big trees. And so we're just not sure that we'll get the bang for the buck in the location. It's also, it's a lot of work to bring in development and the funding for it. And so, we probably exceeded our capacity with what we're trying to do, and really haven't, other than some initial evaluation and some challenges because of the trees, we have not continued to do a lot more work yet on zero energy ready or really fully assessing solar energy, but that remains an open opportunity for us. What I will talk about in the construction design is, the building smaller. When I touched on the, kind of philosophical things at the top, is that the per person square footage over a number of decades has just increased astronomically. The size of homes that are being built today, when the household size is reducing. So for example, from 1980, the per person square footage in an average home was 569 square feet. In 2021, that number is 949. And if you look at the trends for household size, household sizes are decreasing because more and more people are choosing not to have the bigger families. And so that is the aspect of unsustainability that we really focus on, is let's allow us by code to build at the size that people are more than willing to live in and can have all the adequate components of living in a home and having your needs met in a smaller size. Let me go ahead through these last two things and then we can stop for questions. Trees and woods. So we are consulting with a certified arborist. Lucky for me, he happens to be my nephew, and so we spent a ton of time on the site, actually doing some of the clearing, helping us understand some of the trees, remove significant amount of the trees of heaven invasive species. If you're a tree person and you understand that tree, it has a different name that most people call it, and it's not heaven. We had to kind of laugh at the name when it really is just really wreaks some havoc. I had been at the site in the spring, and there was one of those trees. By the time they came to clear in the fall, it covered an area half the size of this room with trees that were way bigger than me. I mean, they just plant and grow like crazy. Other trees, in fact, Nancy Moldenauer had asked me, what are you doing with the trees on the site? So there was a planned removal of dangerous and decaying trees. They are all locust trees. If you walk out on the site today, it's very easy to understand which ones those are. And of course, any trees that sit where a building is going to go, then those trees will be removed. We're trying to minimize that on the front half of the lot. The back half of the lot will be maintained and retained. We'll clean up and maintain the wetland area. We do have a certified wetlands from the Army Corps of Engineers. And while there's some things you can do within a certain distance of wetlands, construction is not one of them. And so it's just a cool opportunity to make use of that. Right now, there's a lot of trash back there and a lot of garbage and, opportunity to clean that up. And we do envision in that wooded area creating paths and seating for residents to enjoy. Site amenities, common laundry facilities. This is the only place that we will have gas. We'll have gas run to the community building for the laundry. That is more of a cost issue. Right now, it's very expensive to run electric dryers for that many people, but we are not using gas anywhere else in the development. There are plans for garden, I should say a place for garden, really envision supporting the community to develop their garden so that they're creating a food source for themselves. And then there are shared open spaces so that everybody has this nice living space, but we're not creating a lot of extra shared spaces for or spaces for every person. It's shared spaces and shared resources. And then if you go ahead and flip to the back of that, again, that just shows you the full property all the way back into the woods, and you can definitely see how much wooded area is there. When you look at that picture, you can see some of the buildings to the right from the housing authority just adjacent there. And then the blow up are just some of the features that will be designed in. Community gardens, the paths, fire pits, areas for gathering outdoors. Questions?
Yeah, I thought the city, you had to have, you said 500 square feet. I thought it had to be 1,000.
If for a single family residential, it does. We had the zoning changed in 2021? Lost track, 2021 or 2022. So our zoning, as I mentioned right at the beginning, it's a change to R3A multi-family low-rise. So that allows, the requirement is at least 3 units together and a minimum of 500 square foot units. So we do meet that. And our full engineering plan has already been approved by the city. So we're fully compliant with the zoning code. So it's a small apartment. It's just like a small apartment. What's interesting though is that if we wanted to have those 3 units detached, it's essentially no difference in terms of the impact for the city utilities or city services, but that's not allowed by zoning code. But it would actually be easier and in some ways easier for us to develop and fund and build incrementally if we could do that. And those are the kinds of things that are just a challenge to work with, right? Essentially, it's no different as far as the city utilities. But the zoning won't allow you to do anything other than attach 3 units together, which isn't the most attractive design compared to cute little homes that are really individual homes, and some flexibility in how they're oriented on the property.
And the other was the electric dryers were not, you say, cost effective for the project?
They are very expensive to run, so the operating costs on electric dryers is really our most significant consideration right now, because we need to keep operating costs low so that rents can remain low for our residents.
But I thought the housing, so just the housing is solar ready, but not the community room?
Yeah, so the residential buildings will be all electric. There is gas run to the community building, and there is common laundry in the community building. And we are still considering zero energy ready and solar. What we've assessed so far is that there's a lot of trees around us. It's a very small piece of property, and we don't really, we're not sure we could get the return on the investment from solar because there's not a lot of opportunity for sunlight there.
You know, if you were to go out and visit the property and you see these huge, gorgeous trees, then
Yes.
I understand you wanted to retain and really be covering up your surfaces that you could be installing solar panels on. So that would reduce the efficiency of the solar panels significantly. So you're probably not going to get the cost savings that you're looking for with your greater initial investment, you know, in all of the equipment.
I thought you could also have solar panels on the side of buildings and on the ground.
You can.
We just don't have the space.
Go up.
I mean, this is-
Go up the
Yeah.
property and you'll.
It is very high density, very high density. So there's just not ground space, most likely to do that. Would love, if any of you are a solar expert and, you know, want to connect outside of this meeting, we would just love to understand a little bit more and, you know, maybe you've got better understanding to help us assess that. But let me point out the architecture. So the sloped roof, the passive solar that's going to come in through those front windows is by design, but if you look at the way this is oriented, this is facing north. So some of those buildings are gonna, you know, catch some solar and the south-facing buildings will not. And so those are the things that we really looked at. I had someone just recently mention, maybe you can put them on the south buildings and collect enough to power, right? Never thought of that till somebody that knows a little more than us to tell us that. So familiar. Do I know you from Habitat for Humanity? No. Okay. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I guess.
A recommendation I could make is you may want to connect with solar United Neighbors,
Yeah.
and they actually would be able to do an assessment for you.
Yeah.
They would be able to do.
Is that different than the company that you had talked to previously?
This is a non-profit.
A nonprofit. Tell me the name again.
Solar United Neighbors, Brian Flory. Brian Flory is the field manager for Northern Indiana. But we can get you that information so
Okay.
you can contact them.
They're on our agenda too. You got a copy.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, Brian.
They're just not here yet?
No, well, we speak
No,
about.
Oh, you're talking about
The company.
them, not presenting.
The organization is on the agenda
Okay.
and how it
The
happens.
site.
Brian's email is on there, correct?
I
Yes.
believe so, yes.
Is the,
Okay.
is the contractor chosen yet?
We are just doing site development bits right now,
Okay.
so the answer would be no. But we're hoping to do that very soon.
Okay, and so do you, who's the architect?
The architect for the buildings
Yes.
is Roger Potras, who is on our board.
Okay.
I always get the numbers wrong, DH2W Architecture. He
Well, he
was,
doesn't live around here anymore.
he just moved, right?
Yeah, okay.
Right, but our architecture is complete.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, Roger still continues to be part of the organization. He has a draft person that is doing some, you know, final touches on us.
Okay. So what I would recommend is even without solar,
Mhm.
these buildings could be very energy efficient.
Yeah.
But it really comes down to the construction details
Mhm.
and how it's built. Somebody has to be on site to monitor,
Yeah.
making sure that it's as airtight as possible, because that's half the battle right there. 'Cause
Yeah.
even if you had solar, you still have to have really tight.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. So Energy Diagnostics, I suspect
Yeah, they're-
most of you are familiar with
Yeah.
Valparaiso. So they're the ones that took all of the components that we were going to build with and the exact units that we would buy for heating, cooling, and water heating, and ran that through their calculator to say the design is certified. They do that kind of work pro bono, and that was very nice of them to do. What we have yet to determine, we fully understand that monitoring on the back end to be sure that there is real compliance with what the design was, so that you truly meet or exceed the standard, or meet the standard that you expected to. So thank you for mentioning that.
Sure. You know, and a lot of it is just good communication between you and the contractor
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
architect. So that from the very beginning, there's a team and everybody understands what the goals are. And when they send their workmen out and they're building, that everybody understands what the goal is. You know, so that
Yeah,
there's,
so they care about
you
that as
avoid
much.
the mistakes and the mishaps and, you know,
Mhm.
any little gap in a wall is a problem.
Mhm.
You know, so,
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for that.
yeah. And there, I assume Energy Diagnostics suggested doing blower door tests.
Mhm.
I think that's required anyway.
To, you
It's a
mean
way
to
of
certify.
Once the building is built, it's a way of certifying that it is a certain level of airtightness.
Yes, so I actually reside with someone who is certified, and I have a blower door in the basement, so I'm pretty familiar with that process. But they definitely talked about running the test afterward to really certify. I mean, you check the construction along the way, but then you actually create a rating once it's complete.
Because if it doesn't reach a certain level, and they do discover that there's gaps, then they can at least go around and find where those gaps are
Yeah.
and seal them up.
Yeah.
Because once the units are occupied, it's impossible
It's
to
hard
do
to do
that.
that.
It's better to get it right at the very
Yeah.
beginning.
Another question.
Mhm.
So these are rentals,
Mhm.
so they would never actually be owned by the person. And so what's the time frame from how long you expect them to live there?
As long as they choose to.
So as long as they choose to.
Yeah, it's not considered transitional housing.
Okay.
Yeah, and we really, we wrestled with that quite a bit, because, you know, people ask, well, you know, what if they're making 3 times the amount 5 years later? Well, one that's not likely. But what we do see with other organizations that do not control ongoing the rent or the scale is that it creates an incredible amount of sustainability. If people choose to improve their life, they're not worried about losing their housing. And for the few people that chose to stay and did improve their lives, they just become an incredible contributor, not only to the village and the residents, but also the broader community. But for the most part, people who gain more means choose a different path, and they look for someplace else to live because now they have other options available to them.
And they are paying some rent?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And how do you establish that? Just curious.
You mean, how do we, what is the intake process or the rent levels?
Yeah, the rent levels.
So the rent levels are really guided by HUD guidelines for affordability within the income levels that we're targeting.
Okay.
And so for the most part, almost 100% of our units are targeted 50% and below area median income. Sometimes we're going after a grant that we say we're going to do X, so we have to do X. We have a couple of units that we're targeting lower than that at 30% of area median income, and that's based on household size. And so in some cases, a grant requires us to do that. In some cases, we absolutely desire to do that, and that will be part of our mission and you know, real target to stay within those lower levels of income, because there really truly are not options for people. Without vouchers, without, you know, like the housing authority, which puts a lot of controls in the way you can live. And you know, that in and of itself can be great to have the housing, but also a challenging environment to live in.
So as their stability increases, and let's say their income, their household income increases, then is their rent increased proportionally, or how does that?
Yeah, that's a great question, and so it's maybe asked a little different way than you did. So we are not on a sliding scale with rents. However, rents and expenses will have cost of living increases, right? Expenses are not controlled by us, other than trying to manage spending or recurring expenses. And so with inflation, rents will need to increase, but they will not increase because of an individual's income. And we do find, while we will have people, anticipate having people that will get better jobs, improve their living, lots of people are on a fixed income. Right? We have a huge demographic in our county that is aging and falling into that unaffordability, really risky area. And so they'll get a cost of living increase with their Social Security, but their income is not going to really be in their control like it would be a early career person.
Is there a target population for this type of co-op?
Tell me what you mean by population.
Are you looking at younger folks just going into their careers? Are you looking at senior citizens going into retirement?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's what I thought you meant, but I just wanted to be sure. So we are complying with fair housing laws. And so that does mean that we will not discriminate against anyone of age, but we do anticipate having a needs-based consideration in addition to income. And so all things being equal, someone might have a higher housing need. So for example, if I'm a student and I'm in college and I'd like a low rent place, you're probably not our target, right? What is your housing need? Could you live with your family and you choose not to? You're a full-time student, so you're probably not. You're choosing that over working. We have extended connections in the service providers, in the shelter and people who are experiencing homelessness. So, a lot of people think that those are people that live on the street and choose to live on the street, but most of them are people that just fell on a very brief, hard time that they usually do very quickly move into employment or re-employment, that they get themselves back on their feet, but there is not housing in the rent levels that they can afford. And so they continue to really run into ongoing challenges of the isolation, of the not having a place to live, so I'm back in my car, or I'm back in a shelter, or I have a car breakdown, so I lose my job, right? It just ends up being a cycle. You're probably familiar with some of that yourselves with residents in our county. We do limit our residency to people who are can show residency within LaPorte County. We hope there's a day where, we just invite anyone and everyone. We just have little villages all over the place. But our first village is going to be a real learning opportunity for us to, see who really desires to live in a community like this. We know the needs out there.
Sandy, thank you so very much for coming tonight.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
Yeah, this has been very eye-opening. I was extremely curious about the sustainability aspect of this village. So thank you.
Yeah, I so appreciate that you surfaced that right away and that you invited me to speak. I am going to leave just a small stack of business cards, so if you do care to reach out for any questions or good thoughts that you have or people to connect us with.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Best of luck on this. I really hope it
Thank
happens
you.
for you.
Yeah, we do too.
That's really
This is your
exciting.
first project?
Yes.
Well, hopefully we'll connect with you again in the future, over and over again.
All right.
Right, let's just get everybody back to their spots. Thank you again. I appreciate it. You got room? All right. Well, thank you for your presentation, and we do look forward to seeing you again and working with all of our different partners. So we'll move on, and I will try to be brief. We do have several things going on. Proposed memorandum on solar array installation in LaPorte County. Nancy, did you want to update us on that briefly, or should I just skip to B?
Proposed memorandum on solar array installation in LaPorte County alert. We're to the point now that we figured out that the LaPorte County Plan Commission, they're actually excuse me. We've actually reached the point that we understand that the LaPorte County Plan Commission is going to update the solar ordinance for the county. And they're gonna be putting in some extra guards regarding setbacks, visuals, you know, hedges, trees, whatever's being used to keep the unsightliness down. It's a great opportunity for us because the U.S. Department of Energy, when they looked over our Soul Smart gold level gold designation request, there's a double negative in one of the paragraphs, which makes it very confusing and hard to understand. Okay, so they're going to take care of that, and then at the same time, they're going to probably put in a moratorium on solar array installation. Okay, that's the only thing that concerns me. I think it could be just a temporary thing until they get the ordinance all updated. Okay, that's what I hope it is. So anyhow, we need to keep our eyes peeled for the next Plan Commission meeting. Honestly, I don't have the time to monitor when the county is posting all those meetings. So we need to know about the Plan Commission meeting, and then also if the zoning board were to come back, but I don't think they're going to, okay? Thank you, Brian, for coming and giving expert witness. Thank you to Representative Pat Boyd for reading my statement at the meeting. So, okay, that's it in a nutshell.
Thank you. Well, hopefully we will have a really good positive outcome. We'll get that ordinance situated and good to go. All right, I'm going to try to move along quickly. B, approval of sustainable design of Homeward Bound Villages. That was our presentation. We would like discussion and vote to issue a letter in support.
We did that last time.
Okay, this was, I wasn't here last.
Yeah, you weren't here last
I apologize.
time.
Yeah,
that's a moot point. No.
I'm just rereading. All right,
okay.
There is an update for this, though. Solar power options for city government. Tristan has a small update for us with D. And then we'll go back. All right, I'm sorry, I'm skipping. C is the report on the Michigan City Electric Vehicle Charging Survey. No, you have an update on D. I apologize. Go ahead, Tristan.
For D. So plan is to move forward on this project is to reach out to Chief Corley to obtain the Michigan City Police Department's insurance policy, as this will ultimately dictate how this project will go. As there's depending on who you insure with, there's caveats in the policy that dictates the type of vehicles that the department is allowed to buy. They must. The big one is if they're considered pursuit rated, which is mostly seen within the Dodge and Ford police vehicles. There's currently no electric vehicle on the market that's rated pursuit rated, so we're mostly looking to see if that is something that's within the policy or not. If there is in the policy, the plan is to look at, see if bicycles is a part of that also requirement or not. Again, it comes down to whether we can, if it falls within bound of the policy.
Thank you. So some insurance policies in a nutshell won't insure or allow you to purchase electric vehicles, basically, because if they are or aren't. All right, so when we get the insurance, we'll find out and we'll be able to move forward. Thank you.
I just had a point to make on this
perfect.
too. This is an exploratory project.
Yes.
And not a pilot project. And I can't remember where I read that recently, but I noticed somewhere it was printed as a pilot project.
Okay.
And it's not here. So if we could be careful with the language.
Sure.
Pilot means they've been purchased, maybe they purchased 2 of them and they're trying them out to see if they work.
Okay. Well, this is definitely exploratory for us. Hopefully one day we'll get to the pilot.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Tristan. Funeral homes and crematoriums, Bailey is not here, we will.
That's removed, it's taken,
Yep, okay.
it's taken care of.
And then green burials and burial selections. Lauren Simmer, you've got a nice update for us today.
So Faye joined me today, and my husband, we made our presentation to the Board of Cemetery Trustees. And Tim was there also. So thank you both again for coming today and showing your support for that. So we just made our presentation. There wasn't much discussion or comment. So I think it was left that they're going to put together a subcommittee to explore the options, and once they, so they're going to do that and then do some more investigating, and then we'll just take it in baby steps and see how it goes.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That they want to put a committee together
Yeah.
and do
Right.
some,
So that's a
good.
good step forward. Yeah. And the new superintendent, Jeff Lineski, has been very good at being receptive to our ideas and kind of coaching the trustees along. So
Oh, good.
yeah, so
Well-
it's going all right.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for going and keeping up on that. It's always good to have green spaces everywhere. So thank you. All right, waste reduction and garbology. I don't think we have much of an update there. A slight update I will give for Michelle Basta, who isn't here. There's some sustainable options for restaurants she wants to explore. So we'll see what that entails in the next meeting. And I think packaging, recycling, things like that. We talked about that initially years ago. So that'd be great to explore post all of the COVID regulations. All right, let's see. Now we'll move on to continue promoting Soul Smart Silver designation with partner Indiana University. Did you want to do an update on that? We're on hold with the gold designation.
Yeah, we're on hold, and I explained earlier that
Right.
it's dependent upon the LaPorte County update in their solar ordinance, and once they get that double negative out, we're accepted and approved.
All right,
Okay.
so we'll be golden.
Yeah, and our logo with silver designation is now posted on the Michigan City government website on our sustainability page.
Wonderful. I love it. Well, thank you for that. Now we'll move on quickly. Carbon neutral Indiana. Nancy, Andy, Laura, not here. Faye, Larry, did you guys have any update? Well, they were at Earth Month Extravaganza. We had a table. I know that was mentioned last month. Everybody can go and get their carbon neutral certification. You just go to the carbonneutralindiana.org and you can plug in a few numbers on the energy that you use and whatnot, and they will give you a free assessment to see what you could pay to be carbon neutral. They plant trees and cap old gas in an effort to reduce your carbon footprint, and details can be found on their website. And there's also a great book which Faye and Nancy and Larry are all in. There's an interview with Nancy and there's an interview with Faye. I can never remember all the interviews, so check it out.
And everybody here has a copy now, correct?
I haven't, yeah.
Okay.
You've got 10, right?
I give them away.
No, I know.
I don't hoard them.
No. So, and thank you for that. That was great. We had a great table at the Earth Month Extravaganza. A lot of people were interested, so thank you. Appreciate it. Department of Energy, National Renewable Energy Laboratory, NREL, Nancy, that was just...
Yeah, we changed the date on this, everybody.
Okay.
We found out one of our key players was not able to be there. So the meeting's going to be on Monday, June 24th, and it will be at 1 p.m.
2.
2 p.m.?
Yeah. It's one, he mentioned 1 p.m. for mountain time.
Oh, it was Mountain.
Yeah, and 2 p.m. for Central.
Gotta love living in this part of the world, right?
And then gotta love working
Right.
with people in the east and the
And you
west
just
coast
don't
time
know.
zones.
My veterinarian.
So you're saying it's 2 p.m. our
2
time and
2
1
p.m.
p.m.
Central,
his time? Okay,
All right, June 24th.
okay. Tristan is gonna be responsible for that. Everybody got an email sent out to them.
So Tristan, you said 1?
2 p.m. our time.
Okay, I got 2. Okay.
Okay, and then, what else was I gonna say? This is gonna be sort of a wrap-up meeting with him, to acknowledge him for his work, and we're gonna talk to see if there's any reason whatsoever to still retain their services going forward. But, it seems like this has transitioned into our next project of solar panel and or array installation at the Washington Park, Zoo and adjacent municipal properties. So, be there, please. I got the room reserved here. I hope it was for 2 o'clock. If not, then I'll get it changed. I'll bring my computer and then we can talk with him. It's been easier us being face to face when we're talking with him. So we'll plan on, gathering here for those of you that indicated you wanted to, continue with this committee.
So that's June 24th at 2 o'clock here.
Yeah. Mhm. Okay. That's that.
All right, thank you. Northwest Indiana Region Resilience, NWIRR Action Planning Work Group. Nancy, Laura, Andy, Kathy Sippel of Earth Charter. She launched the organization collaborative under the umbrella Northwest Indiana Region Resilience, and that's for community engagement and rollout of NIRPC, which is Northwest Indiana Regional Planning Commission. Their development best practice and model programs to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And we'll have the green drinks too. Excellent. Northwest Indiana Green Drinks will host Kathy as a presenter. She's incredibly knowledgeable. So I definitely recommend checking that out. That's September 5th, 6:30 p.m. And that's via Save the Dunes Facebook Live and Zoom. So definitely log into that. I know you get a lot of visitors from all over the world, even Canada. And the Northwest Indiana Regional Planning Commission, NIRPC, they published their sustainability toolkit entitled Sensible Tools Handbook and Best Practices for Changing Landscape 2023, and that's available online. And then we're also still working on National Wildlife Federation to enroll more individuals. Now, Kathy wanted to have the entire area certified. Now, Northwest Indiana was already certified, but then she was going for a regional certification. Is that correct?
County and municipal.
Okay. That's exciting. So everybody, if you have a small garden, even a postage stamp size yard like I have, you can qualify as a nature habitat, and you just go on to the National Wildlife Federation's website, and then plug in a few numbers, and if you want to sign, you pay a little bit of money and you can have a wildlife habitat in your yard. So check that out. Website's down here, and we have our agendas online, and you can check out all the websites there. Did I miss anything?
Good job, Andy.
All right, I'm trying to move us along. Soul Power, Danita Scully, Faye Moore, and Nancy Moldenauer. 23 solar panel assistants and 7 installers are North American Board of Certified Energy Practitioners certified for a total of 30 certificates earned. The highest level of NAB CEP professional certification, how do you say that word? Photovoltaics. All right, excellent. Installation training continuing from February through August. The grant's still being written for the Hope Community Center solar panel installation. Nancy's helping with consultation with that, like she's did for our grants, and job training certification and certification program for solar installation is in partnership with NAACP LaPorte County, Michigan City Sustainability Commission, IBEW-531, Ivy Tech Valparaiso, Work One, and Just Transition Northwest Indiana. And if you're interested in signing up for future training, it's NAACP306.org/programs/soul-power-program. So / Again, all of this is on the Michigan City website because I'm speaking very quickly. Did I miss anything? Lovely ladies. Okay.
Faye, I think I heard they're gonna start a new class in September, is that correct?
I believe so, but if they go online and double check, because I don't have the time, because they also did a demonstration, Tina Mahone, one of the electrical trainers, engineers, they did a demonstration at Hope.
When was
The
that?
panels, showing how to, and how they'll be installing them and stuff like that.
Oh, fascinating.
On Saturday, June 8th, it was passed, it was in Michigan City paper, and on Tina Mahone's website, Facebook page.
All right, I'll have to check that out in case there's more.
But yes,
But as long as they sign up for the future trainings, then they'll be
Yeah.
notified.
You'll be notified.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good. Well, that's exciting. Was there any questions or comments? All right, moving along. Solar United Neighbors, this is who we had mentioned earlier to the Homeward Bound folks. They're the solar experts. That's me and Nancy and Faye. Faye, of course, has the solar panels, and so does Nancy. I'm jealous, I do not, but I have a new roof, so I might get those panels eventually. Brian Flory is the director, and his email is bflory@solarunited.org. If you're interested in obtaining free consultation, you can email him and go to the solarunitedneighbors.org website and check out everything. There is not a co-op going on, but there is a possible cohort where people are put together to interact with each other, but to still make their own decisions on their installers. The previous co-ops would have joint installers. So this gives you a little bit more freedom, as well as having the connectivity of the community. I hope I didn't skip anything there. All right.
Just a correction, he
Oh,
did,
yes.
Brian did give expert testimony at the zoning appeals,
Okay.
LaPorte County Government Zoning Appeals meeting.
Wonderful.
And I'm sorry I missed that.
Thank you. I will update and fix that. You mentioned the expert testimony earlier. Thank you. All right, Caught You Being Green engagement. Me and Tim and Michelle. Earth Month Extravaganza 2025, we had a suggestion for a new location from our very own mayor. So I would like to entertain that idea. I actually like it very much. The senior center. The parking there is fabulous. The space is much bigger. The nature is different, but still we can have our very specific nature to this area explored. You know, the dune grass and various dune plants that are very, very specific to Northwest Indiana. So I think that could still be exciting. I do really, really like the park, but this would, I think, allow a lot more opportunity for people to participate and attend. The space is just much.
Outgrown the space.
Yeah, right. Yay!
Awesome.
Sad. Good. Bittersweet, I guess, is the term for that. So if, you know, I like the suggestions of our, Mayor Angie. So, if everyone is interested in that, then we'll just go with our new location for next year and I will book the date. So, unless we don't usually vote on that, we just kind of get some nods. Moving on to the social media posts, we did have a lot of shared engagements. There's a lot of stuff going on around us with different sustainability commissions and committees in Porter County and Lake County. And I did share Caught You Being Green. I was impressed myself personally, with Ulta Cosmetics in Michigan City. Something hard to recycle is cosmetic containers.
Yeah.
And they have a special recycling container in their store for lipstick and mascara. And for those who know that this is a big deal because you can't recycle most of those things, and so it leaves some of us that like makeup sad because we can't recycle things. So anyway, check that out and
Any
go
brand?
Ulta. Yeah, any brand. That's what it said. Now, it wasn't any container. Now, if you zoom in on there, it shows, and also if you go to ulta.com, I noticed they have the specifics. It is not through TerraCycle. It's through, I believe, Pact. Oh, don't quote me on that one. I forget. But it's an alternative recycling, not our curbside recycling like we're used to. All right, on to Nora Schultz Sustainability Award. That's our individual sustainability award. We are still accepting nominations, I'd say, just for a few more days. So we can, I will accept those and then send you all an email with who's on there. And usually we have our student commissioners and then Tristan do the voting because Tristan came up with the idea, and then our student commissioners don't usually get a chance to vote on much or anything. So they usually pick the winner. So if you have some more nominations, send them over to me. I have got one or two of the Nora Schultz individual awards, so just send those to me and I'll disseminate them out to everyone. And then I did get a few more though of the Caught You Being Green. That's our new award this year for businesses. We're really excited about that. So I've gotten several and I'll send those out to you as I get those because I've already gotten a few of those too.
And you weren't at the last meeting.
Right, so.
But Tristan did announce the deadline for those nominations was today.
Oh, it's today.
Our meeting.
All right, excellent. Thank you. I appreciate that. I will admit I did not watch the last meeting. Shame on me. I will catch up with all things though, I promise.
It's okay.
So I think then we're good. So if there's any more, last minute nominations, is it just at the end of the day today or this meeting right now?
End of the day.
End of the day. All right. You have until midnight. All right, everyone. 11:59.
59.
And 59 seconds. All right, that's it. No more after that. So.
Start typing really
Right,
fast.
right now.
Get it
So.
going.
Oh goodness. All right, we got to laugh a little bit. All right. Do we have any commission comments? Commission comments? Once, twice. Commission comments. All right, 3 times. No. Public comments. Public comments. Public comments. Oh, we did have a commission comment. Or are you? You're the public.
She's the
Wanted to
public.
talk about, I don't know about anybody else, but for me as a therapist, I have lots of files that need shredding, and you have to keep them for 7 years before you can shred them. But I wanted to make this announcement that there's a Community Shred Day at the Members Advantage Credit Union.
Oh, nice.
And it's on June the 22nd. So all of that paper that you've been wanting to shred, but your little 10-sheet shredder couldn't handle it.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's it too. And those shredder. Yeah. Those are the ones.
This is an opportunity to,
And which location? What location members?
it is 3064 South Ohio
Okay.
Street.
All right. Thank you.
And also for people that do shred their own paper, the Michigan City Washington Park Zoo accepts that for bedding for the small animals.
Really?
Just be sure there are no staples in it.
Oh.
So when you shred it at home, be sure you tear off those staples. And they're so happy to receive it because then they're not having to buy, bedding materials.
Great reminder, I'll share on the Facebook page, and then maybe also the zoo is constantly asking for different donations for things, fabric and shredding, things like that. So I'll remind everyone about that, and I'll get you a copy of what the zoo accepts for donations.
Oh, that's
No.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
9 to 3. 9 to 3 is when they receive it.
Okay, 9 to 3.
I'm kind of surprised they would do that, though. It seems odd to me. Like if you had like a printed piece of paper, because that's got like ink on it, and I would think that'd be kind of toxic.
It's fine.
Yep, the newspaper. Yep.
I guess the animals don't eat it.
Okay. I heard that you can put shredded stuff in a compost pile too.
Yeah, even tissue.
Yeah.
Limited.
Yeah, limited, but
All right, we have any other announcements before I read the announcements? All right, Northwest Indiana Green Drinks is taking July off. That's its customary summer break. The 72nd annual open house and ribbon cutting for Save the Dunes. You're invited Friday, June 21st, 11 to 3, and that's at the historic Barker House. 444 Barker Road, Michigan City. Nancy, do you know if there's a sign up or do you just show up?
This is just a show up.
Wonderful. Just show up. All right. And that's Friday, June 21st, 11 to 3. And then also the 5K Dunes Dash for runners and walkers. That's sponsored by Save the Dunes in Indiana Dunes National Park. West Beach, Saturday, June 22nd. So you can have a fun weekend with Save the Dunes on the 21st and the 22nd. The dash is from 8 a.m. until 11 a.m. Central Time. And that includes a 1 mile kids fun run. So did we have any other questions or comments? All right, well then I would like to, does anybody, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All right, excellent. Do we have a second? Second. All those in favor? Aye. We have adjourned Michigan City Sustainability Commission at 5:38 p.m. on June 13th, 2024.
Good job, Andy.
thank you, Andy.
You're welcome.